Pence is the libertarian economist and president of the Market Institute, author of Profit Motive, Drives the Things We Do, and host of the new podcast, Pardon My Parsing, buzzsprout.com. Charles Sauer, Charles Sauer on Twitter, and marketinstitute.org on the internet. Charles, welcome back to the program. So Mike Pence has come out and basically said it's time to privatize Social Security. This is in my opinion, the opening salvo in taking down the so-called welfare state, or as Mike Pence referred to it, the New Deal. So as a libertarian economist, please explain to us the Republican rationale for basically gutting the social safety net, for privatizing all of these programs.
Well, first off, I want to be very careful in attacking anything that Vice President Pence says, because I want him to have as good of a chance as possible to take on Donald Trump in the Republican primary. But realistically, what he's doing here is bringing out, it's Bush era policies. It's things that Republicans can look back on and say, hey, we were really fighting for that. When I came out with my book, Profit Motive, one of the best questions that was asked to me is, what did I change my mind on while I was writing that book? And I answered that it was actually that I changed my mind on Social Security, or on the privatization of Social Security. So I think Pence is wrong in this. What he wants to do is give people private accounts, which we've shown that if you invest the money that is taken by Social Security, that it would grow much higher accounts. And so that's what the math is based on. But in fact, what you're doing is you're forcefully taking money out of people's pockets, and then you're giving it to not elected officials to figure out how to spend it or how to save it, but you're giving it to individuals in the figure out which of the businesses they want to deem as the next king of the market. And that money is going to go wherever these cronies decide where it goes. So I think it was a bad plan when Bush was proposing it. I think it's really bad when Vice President Pence is proposing it. But realistically, I think it's just part of that. You bring out the old routine to bring in those mainstream conservatives who remember fighting on it back in the day. So I think it's a bad plan. I think that it won't go very far, but it is a talking point and it is a differentiator. How
can you call yourself a libertarian if you're in favor of government programs that transfer wealth?
Well, so I'm not actually in favor of the government program, right? My solution would be to end Social Security, or at the very least, at least just turn it into a welfare program where it just serves the people that need these retirement accounts the most, instead of serving the billionaires. But right now, the Democrats in Congress, the president, want to make sure that Social Security treats billionaires better than poor people that need the money the most. I would want to at least move it to that. And in a perfect world, we would get rid of it. But we're not in a perfect world. So let's just at least make it a welfare program.
So how does this, oh, geez. So how does this, how does this work that a libertarian who says that government can't do anything right except run courts and the police is now advocating welfare programs? I'm baffled here, Charles. What am I missing?
Well, no, because we're fighting on a spectrum, right? So we either currently have a Social Security system that's set up on a failed idea that you can continue giving more and more money to more people without investing that money or having it grow. It's just a Ponzi scheme. So
but it is invested. It's invested in treasuries. All the Social Security money is invested right now in treasuries, and treasuries are paying what, 3% right now?
Yeah, treasuries aren't an actual investment, right? It's an investment in America.
No, treasuries pay interest. How is that not an investment?
Yeah, they're paid. I'll send you a few articles on it. They aren't actual investments the way that investments and the way that
come on, Charles, you can go to your bank and
investing their money.
You can go to your bank and you can buy a CD, or you can go to the Treasury Department and buy treasuries. In fact, there's inflation-adjusted treasuries right now that are paying 6% and 7%. You're just capped out at $10,000 as your investment. Those are investments, and Social Security is invested in treasuries. And
where does that money go? So when you invest in a company, they use that investment to build another building that they're going to make more money from.
Or give more money to their CEOs.
They use it to expand the business, so they're going to bring in more customers. If you're buying a U.S. Treasury, you're buying a bridge to nowhere, or an F-22 that's used to shoot down a balloon. That's
so you're
not
opposed to investing in
America.
America.
No, that's not an actual growth asset. It's not an investment. If people want to buy U.S. securities on their own, they should be able to do that. But we can't actually call it an investment of our Social Security money.
Okay,
You're forcefully taking money from my pocket.
We're splitting hairs here, and let's get back to the original topic. The idea of Social Security was never that it was a retirement program. It was always, and in fact, it's the name of the program. It's the Social Security Insurance Program. It was insurance against poverty and old age. When this was put into place in 1935, on August 14th, 1935, it was explicitly designed to prevent the problem, the crisis that America was facing at that moment, which was old people literally freezing to death in the winter because they couldn't afford heat, and starving, experiencing malnutrition during the rest of the year because they couldn't afford to buy food. It was poverty insurance. If you're going to turn a poverty insurance program into a welfare program, how do you deal with poverty and old age? Or are you saying
Go ahead. It's just not, right? It's not a poverty program currently. You've talked about, we need to take more money from the billionaires. You and I actually agree on this a little bit, but what the people that don't agree with us are on Capitol Hill, because the history of the arguments are on my side, where the left doesn't want to let the rich people out of the program. They want to keep them in and keep spending money on rich people's retirement. Look, I'm likely not going to need Social Security to insure me against starving in the streets. I just use it. The Social Security in my budget says that maybe I'll be able to travel around a little bit. Maybe a conversation should include that people like me, maybe people like you, don't need Social Security, and therefore we shouldn't get it because it's not insurance.
But we've paid into it our entire lives. We don't need to file an
insurance claim.
And we've paid into it our entire lives. And why should billionaires not pay into it?
That's just a government guaranteed program. Let's turn it into a welfare program and to make it an insurance program, as you just specifically defined. I'm happy with that. Of course, I would like it to go away, but an insurance program is much better than an unsustainable program that we can't run.
Do you really, okay, so I think we've identified our positions here, Charles. Do you think that the Republicans are actually going to go along with this? I mean, you got Donald Trump right now saying, don't privatize Social Security, don't mess with Medicare. Those are programs that are important to the Republican base, which is, largely older and white and in Social Security age or close to it. And then you've got Mike Pence and Mike Pompeo and a bunch of other kind of neoliberals saying, oh yeah, we need to privatize Social Security so that the banksters in Washington D.C. who recycle millions in campaign donations to us will have those $2.5 trillion sitting in their coffers.
Capitol Hill's interesting on the right now. I think Donald Trump's a populist. He's going to say what it takes to get him what he believes what it's going to take to get him reelected. Pence, Vice President Pence, Senator Pence, has always been more of a public policy nerd. And so what he's proposing is what the public policy nerds have supported for a long time. I don't think with Capitol Hill split the way it is, that it's going to be easy for any camp to solidify enough votes to get anything passed that's worthwhile. As Social Security reaches more troublesome budgets and or deficits, then I think there will be something that will come along where maybe they'll move more towards us, where Social Security should be an insurance program. But I think that in the short term, nobody needs to worry about it. No, it's not insurance if you're going to get it and I'm going to get it. That's not insurance, and you know that.
The solution, yes, it is. The solution, and it's also insurance against disability. If you're disabled at any stage in your life, you have Social Security to fall back on, and private insurance companies won't even write policies like that. At least not as...
That's correct and good, and you're right. It is insurance. I have people very close to me that are on it for insurance, but that's the insurance aspect, and it's super needed, and it's a great deal.
So I think
it would be good in a private sector as well.
It seems to me the solution to all this. Yeah, it seems to me the solution to all this is to raise the cap, is to have billionaires pay. And I realize your response is going to be then billionaires should get out more than they put. And I disagree with that. But to raise the cap so billionaires are also paying all of their Social Security taxes, and people who make multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a year or millions of dollars a year. It just seems like that. Go ahead.
You are right that that's my answer, but that's not because it's my answer. That's what the law says. That's the way it would be. And that is the way that the left has fought for it on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
It's not what I want. If we had the rich pay more to just sustain the system, that moves it into an insurance program. But then you're out on an island as far as left politics are concerned.
All righty. Charles Sauer. Charles, thanks a lot for dropping by today.